What's good? It's Carson, aka If Found, and today I'm gonna real quick walk you through the Ableton racks and Serum presets for this month, September's Ableton rack and preset pack. Each month on Patreon, I drop one of these packs. It's 2 Ableton racks and 2 Serum presets. So today, let's go ahead and walk through what you're getting. We'll start out with the Ableton racks, and I'll start out with this vocal effects. So I've got this nice vocal loop here with everything off. Sounds like this.
You try to make me jealous, it's a bridge how you convert. No one like me can't compare it. I'ma throw it to the curve. Flying high with no propellers, now it's none of my concern. I'ma do me, keep my head up, cause I know that you'll return.
So super dry, and what this vocal effects rack does, it's just a simplified way of just really quick dialing in some pretty professional sounding like vocal effects. So what's nice to have all these snapshots here, so we can start out kind of dry with a touch of dirt.
And you try to make me jealous, it's a bridge how you
Without
convert. No one like me can't compare it. I'ma throw it to the curve. Flying high with no
Just kind of brings up a little bit, going to hot vocal. I'll just kind of scroll through these so you can hear them as I'm playing it, but
You try to make me jealous, it's a bridge how you convert. No one like me can't compare it. I'ma throw it to the curve. Flying high with no propellers, now it's none of my concern. I'ma do me, keep my head up, cause I know that you'll return. You try to make me jealous, it's a bridge how you convert. No one like me can't compare it. I'ma throw it to the curve. Flying high with no propellers, now it's not.
it's a pretty simple rack. It's really just reverb, delay, saturation, and some doubling. But these are really the things that professional vocal mixers use to get a vocal sounding nice and sitting well. And I just have it routed in a way where it's pretty user friendly. You really just need to go through the snapshots, but if you need to fine tune, you have the macros here as well. So moving on, that is the first rack. The next rack is this True Tone. So this is an interesting one. This will require a third-party plugin called MAGC. It is completely free though. It's from the Melda Effects bundle. And this is a little plugin that a lot of people, it's kind of slipped under my radar for years, but it's been around for years. It's essentially an auto gain plugin. And what this whole rack does is allows you to hear, is the reason why I call it True Tone, is it allows you to hear the actual tone shift that you're getting when you apply effects like EQ or filtering or compression or things like that. You can actually hear the effect more than if, because usually when you apply any of these effects, right, you get a volume change with it. And so for example, if I have, let's not do this rack real quick, let's just do regular EQ8. Just have a regular EQ8
Jealous, it's a bridge how you convert.
and say I'm like, all right, I want this to be a little bit
Jealous, it's a bridge how you
more expensive sounding. So one of the first things that a lot of amateur mixers will do is they'll kind of bring in, or even intermediate, is they'll bring in a high shelf to kind of bring it more in your face and make it sound a little more expensive.
Jealous, it's a bridge how you convert. No one like me can't compare it. I'ma throw it to the curve. Flying high with no propellers, now it's none of my concern. I'ma do me, keep my head up, cause I know that you'll return.
Okay, so just a super quick, it's a little drastic, but you can see how
Jealous, it's a bridge how you convert. No one like me can't compare it.
it makes the vocal at least appear to sound a little bit more professional. And one of the things I want you to pay attention to is whenever we do EQ changes like this, even compression changes, you're also changing the volume. You're not just changing like the overall volume of the sound. And the way our ears work is we like louder things. It's just how we've evolved for some reason. And so when something is louder, we kind of subjectively perceive it as better. Now what this rack does is allows you to see that if we actually do this, and there's a couple things you got to do to set this rack up, or really just one thing is, so this is how the rack will load, right? And then you just need to set this sidechain input. That's all you got to do. So normally what I do is I just look down here to the bottom right, and you can see exactly what track you're on. You just hit input, and normally with Ableton, the nice thing is they have these numbers on the beginning of all your tracks. And so I just hit, keyboard 1, and now I'm in. The only other thing you have to do is hit the pre-effects and make sure you go to, you'll always see this, but make sure you go to True Tone, Place Effects here, MAGC pre-effects. You want to basically find the one that's, you can ignore all this in the beginning, but just MAGC pre-effects. That's your input. Now you're good to go. So We can do all of the effects changes we want. Now here's where the magic comes in. And if I turn this on and off, you'll hear the tone shift. It won't be a volume change, it'll just be a tone change.
Jealous is a bridge how you can burn. No one like me can't compare it. I'ma throw it to the curve, flying high with no prepare.
And let's exaggerate the hell out of this. Let's do 200%. And then let's also have an A/B with what it sounds like normally doing this type of EQ change. So if we were to normally do this, right, this is how the A/B would sound.
Jealous is a bridge how you can burn. No one like me can't compare it. I'ma throw it to the curve, flying high with no propeller.
Now, if we were to do the actual tone shift way, here's with it.
Jealous is a bridge how you can burn. No one like me can't compare it. I'ma throw it to the curve, flying high with no propellers. Now it's none of my concern.
So you can hear how we're not hearing a volume change. We're hearing a tone change, and this is really helpful for being able to EQ things really quickly. And instead of having to second guess, like, oh, is it actually making it better, or is it just making it louder? Before what we'd have to do, or what I'd have to do a lot, is manually match. So I know if I'm doing, even if I'm just doing a shelf, if I'm doing a shelf at 5 dB, I would probably have to come in here, 5 dB, come in here and compensate by 5 dB down on the output. That way we're actually getting essentially the same volume out. But with this, it takes all the guesswork out of it, and you can just do stuff like this.
Jealous is a bridge how you can burn. No one like me can't compare it. I'ma throw it to the curve, flying high with no propellers. Now it's none of my concern. I'ma do me, keep my head up, cause I know that you'll be jealous. Is a bridge how you can burn. No one like me can't compare it. I'ma throw it to the curve, flying high with no propellers. Now it's none of my concern. I'ma do me.
So you can hear how we're just hearing the tone change, not a volume change. So very helpful for EQing stuff. Another cool thing you can do here, let's do a compressor.
Jealous is a bridge how you can burn. No one like me can't compare it. I'ma throw it to the curve, flying high with no propellers. Now it's none of my concern. I'ma do me, keep my head up, cause I know that you'll return. Jealous is a bridge how you can burn. No one like me can't compare it.
So one thing I want you to hear is I'm not changing it when it comes back in this rack. When I bypass it, it's not changing the volume, it's just changing the overall tone. So you can hear how OTT really squeezes out the mids and accentuates the highs, and also pulls up the lows. It kind of applies a bit of a smiley face curve to it, to the tone. If you were to hear it like just regularly,
jealous is a bridge how you can burn. No one like me can't compare it. I'ma throw it to the curve, flying high with no prepare.
So you can see it's a bit harder. You can still hear the tone change, but it's a bit harder because the volume is different as well. So it's like kind of hard to know how much of the effect is really like just due to volume change or actual tone change. There's a whole lot of things you can do with this rack. It's really, you can kind of put anything in here where this OTT is, put all your effects in this rack, and then just bypass it to hear what the tone change is. But yeah, really cool rack, really helpful for mixing. Now let's move on to the Serum presets. Our first one is bass harmonic. Let me make sure I have it loaded right. So here we go. You can kind of just drag and drop in here. So this is the first preset. Let's go ahead and get it. So for those of you who may or may not know, on Splice there's been this really popular preset. It's like a harmonic bass. This is kind of my take on it. It's a bit more aggressive, a bit more in your face, but I think it's a really nice preset that you can use. It's kind of like a Reese substitute. It sounds like a Reese, but it's like not quite a Reese. It's a little bit more of a modern tone that people have been using. Super subtle. Kind of add in some weird noise texture. And then kind of open it up a little bit. I didn't really put a whole lot of controls in this. It's a very simple patch, but it just sounds really good. I did a good amount of like kind of processing here and the effects chain just to make sure that it's pretty much user ready. You just pop this in and it should just pop into your mix really nicely. Great preset. Yeah, I use it a lot in my current stuff I'm working on. It's become a mainstay, honestly, and great for layering as well. Let's look into the next one. Here's our next preset. So this one's a little interesting. So it's a bit, you could kind of use it as like a acidy weird lead where you just kind of like create a simple bass line and let it do its thing. I think personally, like the way I've used this is more as like fills, so like a little 1 bar or half bar fill. It's great for that. But yeah, it's just it's a fun little preset. Just some cool tones, but good for like bouncing out to audio and just seeing where you can take it from there. But yeah, that'll do it. If you have any requests on certain types of Serum presets or Ableton racks you want to see, please let me know. I still have a few Serum presets in the bank that I'm going to be sharing, but Ableton racks I am kind of running low on. I'm trying to go through my own workflows and racks and see what I can kind of use from there. But if you have any ideas of something you're looking for, like a rack that does X or does something whatever, let me know in the comments and I'll make sure to make it. But that'll do it for me. Thanks everyone, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.